Art is.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Hey art friends, I hope you're ready for a new, exciting, and kind of challenging art project. This one should be a little tougher than some of the others, and I think you're gonna like it. When I was a kid, I have these great memories of loving to do castle drawings, and that's what we're gonna do today. I love doing it because you practice drawing in 3D for some of the details, and also I just think it's so much fun. It reminds me of the video game Mario Kart and how much fun I had playing that as a kid. And so I hope you guys really enjoy this. And remember, it's a little more challenging. So if you need to, pause the video. All right, have fun. Bye. All right, I mentioned that this project was going to be a little more challenging, and that's okay. I'm going to start by doing a couple practices. So first I'm going to do a practice cylinder. I start with two vertical lines. You know that smiley face and that frowny face? I'm going to use the smile mouth at the bottom of my cylinder, and then a smile and a frown at the top to close it off and make it look kind of like a soda can. Next I'm going to move to a cone, and I'm going to do the top like a triangle and the bottom like a smiley face. That way it looks a little 3D like an ice cream cone. Next, I'm going to make a cube. I'm going to make a square to begin with. And then once I have the square, I'm going to pick three of my corners and I'm going to make them use a diagonal line and fade back into the distance. And then connect, connect, and I have a cube. Cool. Finally, I'm going to practice a castle line. I'm going to do over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. When you've got these practices, just move on to a blank paper. Save this for now, though. All right, to begin with, we're going to go to Safari. We're going to type in at the top castle wall texture. And this is going to be perfect because we're going to get a lot of stony examples that you can pick from. I'm going to click on images near the top. Okay, and there's tons of choices right here. Okay, so you can just find the one that reminds you of a castle wall the most. You can make perfect rectangles, I see, or I kind of like this messy one up here. I'm going to tap on that, make it a bigger picture, and then hold down on it and add to photos. All right, now I can go back over to Sketchbook where we've just completed our practice drawing. I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to pinch it just to get a little smaller. I'm going to use my favorite marker tool, the fourth from the top, and then I'm going to start drawing a cylinder. So instead of putting a normal cylinder top on it, this time I put a cone top on it. I'm going to go to the far right side of my paper and do another cylinder. And then in the middle, I want to make one that's a little bit bigger, so when it looks 3D, it looks like it's closer to me. Across the top, I'm going to do a castle line, just like this, so this one has a little different top. Next, we're moving on to the walls. We're going to connect across the bottom, and then a castle line over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. Oh, make sure I connect right there. I'm going to move over to the other side, connect across the bottom, and then a castle wall, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, until it looks like the front of a castle. Those walls will protect all the people on the inside. It's looking awesome. Next, I'm going to make a doorway and a drawbridge. So I'm going to make a curved door and a little bit of detail, and then the door laying down on the ground. Oh yeah. And the hill that this thing is built on. If you build your castle on a hill, then you can look down on all of your enemies and protect yourself. I'm going to use a slightly skinnier marker to make a squiggly line that goes all the way around, and this is going to be my moat, and I'll fill it with some water in a minute. This is looking so cool! Alright, off to the side of the castle, I kind of like building a tower outside of the castle, and this is like where you store your like princess that you stole from the other kingdom or something, or whatever, like maybe just you put some, I don't know, extra storage over there. And I connect it to the castle with a little bridge. Next, I'm going to use those 3D cubes we talked about, and so I did a taller line in the middle, two shorter ones to the side, and then a little bit of a castle wall that goes across the top. Cool. These are just the buildings on the inside of the castle where people could live, or they could be shops or stores or whatever. Okay, next up, let's see here. What should I add next? Oh, a palace at the back. You know what? I started drawing this palace. I put it on there, and I wasn't super satisfied with my drawing. So if you are better at drawing a palace at the back, you totally should do better than me. And I'm going to change mine later. You'll see it's going to turn out really cool. All right, so this is the one that I wasn't very happy with. All right. Finally, I'm going to throw some details in there like flags and windows here and there. And we're going to be ready to add some texture to our walls. I had a little mess up, so I had to do a back arrow. That's okay. Okay. Next at the top, I'm going to click on the two mountains and a plus sign to bring in my stone castle wall texture that we got from Google Images. I'm going to shrink it down so it fits about half of my castle. Click Done. And then, this is a step that a lot of you know about, but on the right side of your screen, I'm going to tap on that stone wall and I'm going to drop the opacity, which means I can see through it a lot better and I can see the castle behind it. I'm going to switch to an eraser tool. I'm going to erase everywhere where I don't want the castle stone to show up. So that's on the grass, in the sky. I don't need it on the wood door, but like on the cylinders, I do want those to stay stone looking. So I'm going to leave that. I don't want it on the palace. Alright, this is looking great. I also have to zoom in to do some of the detail work with my eraser, and I got a smaller eraser to do some really fine erasing right next to the castle. Looking good. Alright. Next I'm going to repeat that step. I'm going to bring in some more castle wall and set it on top of the other side. I think I did this so my stones wouldn't look too big. Again, erasing everywhere where it doesn't need it. And if you see in the middle there's an overlapping spot where the two castles are kind of overlapping, and I want to fix that. I bring up my opacity so that my stones are a little darker, and super important trick, if you hold down on the right with the thumbnails and drag the drawing that you did to the top, then those outlines will sit on top. So I want to make sure that my layers are stacked up the right way. I did a lot of paint bucket filling to fill in the grass, the door, the water, the sky, the different roofs, and the palace. Once I've completed my drawing, I started adding some funny details. I thought Elsa would be a good idea, and then I added an imposter, or two. Next up, I added Mario Kart characters, and finally, the King of Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. Hey guys, I hope you had a whole lot of fun doing this project, and don't forget to save and submit those projects, or if you just did it for fun, that is a-okay too. Alright, see ya, and remember, art is awesome! Woo! Alright, bye.